Morning. What's up, brother? Who knows that? Hopefully someone. Hopefully I don't just look like an idiot. What's up, brother? Morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. To all the familiar faces. Ponzi. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Margin, as always. Chef. Keela? What's up, brother? How we doing? D-Noodles gets it. Spags, Larry. Morning. Welcome back. Missed you guys. Yeah, I missed you guys. I missed doing the live stream, man. I love doing this. Looks like it's gonna be a monster day over here, guys. So feeling pretty good this morning. Let's see where it can go. You guys may or may not know I'm in a lot of SMCI puts. Not in terms of quantity, but in terms of equity size. You know, as you know, SMCI puts are very expensive, so couldn't afford too many of them. But I was able to get a pretty decent size. Throw on some glasses. Yeah, I should, right? Like this. What's up, brother? Someone clip it. Did I fly a Boeing plane? No, I flew Airbus. If it ain't Airbus, I ain't going on it. I might have to actually cancel my flight on United just to go and take JetBlue to Newark in a few months. Morning, guys. D-Noodles. Oh, man. Hey, at least someone gets it. I think you might be the only one that understands what I'm doing. You might be the only one. As you can tell, as a 29-year-old, I'm still watching gaming way too much. But, hey, to each their own. To each their own. JGC Costine, JGC. I'm going to call you Jay. Thanks for supporting the stream, my friend. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good morning, brother. All right. Let's get it started. So, today we are one day closer to FOMC. We are one day closer to that main economic event. Let me go ahead and pull that up for us real quick. Here we go. Trade. TB. Yo, Vince, appreciate the shout out yesterday. Appreciate that, TB. Thanks for holding down the fort. TB has more subscribers than me now. That's a problem. No, I'm just kidding, man. Room for all of us. Appreciate that, man, and thanks for helping out. Thanks for helping out, and while I go and watch the New York Rangers. Let's go Rangers. All right. So, here we go. Economic calendar. Today, nothing really. Nothing I'm really focused on. Nothing that really concerns me. Tomorrow is the main event. And we know from experience that the days prior to an FOMC event are typically lackluster trading days. Now, a little bit of downside this morning, and I think what's happening here, at least I'm not an economist, okay? So, you're not going to be coming at me. The Bruins, yeah, big game coming up. Don't come at me because I'm wrong with the economy side. But what I'm feeling, or my educated guess here, is that PPI number and that CPI number is concerning the market in terms of if there actually will be rate cuts that they are expecting. I think there's 2 rate cuts that is expected. And if that does not happen, or if that is, the market is not going to drop when the news comes out of that not happening. If they don't cut, it will drop in the anticipation of maybe there's some economic data that's leading towards possibly that not occurring. And I think that PPI number that we got, I believe last week, is just sort of concerning, right? It's a little bit, right? Are we ready? Are they going to do the rate cuts? If these PPI number and CPI numbers are increasing, is it time to do this? And so if the market's pricing in some rate cuts and that does not occur, this is going to cause downside on the market, okay? And I think you're sort of warming up to that idea, right? That's, I think, what you're starting to sort of see in the market. I think they're warming up to that. I think the market is warming up to that possibility. That's my opinion right now. Could be totally dead wrong, but that's my opinion right now. So if we don't get those rate cuts, if it starts to look like CPI, PPI, inflation numbers are staying elevated, then we're not going to probably get those rate cuts, which will make the market drop a little bit, have a pullback from where it is. And that's sort of what we're definitely going to want to read into tomorrow, right? We'll get a little bit more information about that, the economic projections. We'll get the Fed funds rate, which is likely to stay flat, right? I don't expect, they're definitely not going to cut tomorrow. Economic projections, and then press conference from Jerome Powell tomorrow as well at 2:30. So that's tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Thursday, our normal unemployment claims. We know that's coming all the time. Manufacturing PMI at 9:45. And then we have some Jerome Powell comments on Friday, which I don't really, he's probably going to say the same exact thing he talks about tomorrow. So we'll see. All right. Let's go to the earnings. Is there any earnings this week? I didn't even look at the earnings calendar yet. So let's go ahead and pull that up. I am unaware of earnings calendar. I was not able to look at that yesterday. So let's do that right now. And earnings is starting to fade away. The important earnings are starting to fade. I think maybe this Thursday, Nike, Lulu, FedEx is probably your big 3 here for the week. I don't really see anything else that's that important. Micron for semiconductors, maybe a little bit, but that's about it on the earnings side. All right. Let's dive into the market. TB, have a great day, my friend. Firm handshakes. Best of luck today, my friend. All right. Do I own Bank of America stock? No, I don't own bank stocks. I don't think bank stocks are very good growth drivers. I don't really see banks as a growth driver in the market for your portfolio. And in my situation, in my age, I just don't have interest in parking money into a stock that typically just goes nowhere, right? It's just, what's the point? For me, that's my opinion. But hey, I'm willing to be aggressive with my long term. I have the time. I have the opportunity to do so. But here we go. All right. Let's dive into the NASDAQ futures. Let's get started there. If you guys could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And let's dive into this hourly chart and look at some levels here. So this morning, we are breaking a key level, in my opinion. This 18,160 level is very important. It has been important. It's not exactly 160, but we've seen some reactions around that 160 in the short term. It's right in here. 18,160, we had some lows. We had this low here. We had these lows here from 2 weeks ago. We had this low on Thursday of last week. And after we broke that 18,160 on Friday of last week, we had a nice downside move under that 18,160. You're seeing that here today. So I believe, as of right now, we can confidently turn this 18,160 level into a potential rejection spot. So that is definitely going to be a major level that I watch today. I'm going to go into the 30-minute chart, show you this in a little bit of a shorter-term look. You can see right here, we had support at 18,160, support at 18,160, support. It turned into a rejection on Friday, causing downside. We had support here yesterday, and this morning we are breaking under it. Under 18,160 is weak on the NASDAQ. So that is very key. That is something I'd pay attention to. If you see rejections at 18,160 today, that is a short entry potentially. What else is going on right now? That is very important. We've talked about this for months. And it is starting to potentially occur. We have rejected under the daily 20. This is the first time in a long time that the NASDAQ is potentially rejecting under the daily 20. If we look at this daily chart, look at this. Look at this right here. You have to pay attention. This is potentially a flip right in front of our eyes, right? Look at this right here. Daily 20, holding, right, for days. What is occurring right now? We have had 3 days below the daily 20, closing below the daily 20 SMA. This should lead to weakness, okay? And so in my eyes, there is absolutely no reason to even consider longs on this market if we are under the daily 20. There is absolutely no reason, in my eyes, to consider longs if we are below the daily 20 SMA. That is just a total non-long for me. I would much rather be looking to see if there's further downside at this point. I am not going to try to dip buy things if we're below the daily 20 SMA. If we get back above it, if we reclaim it, and we turn it back into support, there will be plenty of time to try to long this market on a confirmation move. There is no reason to try to be a hero, in my opinion, and try to long under this daily 20. There will be plenty of time. If this does rip back higher and we reclaim this level, right, maybe right tomorrow on FOMC, and we start to see strength above it, there will be plenty of time to re-enter the market long. You do not need to be a hero and try to long back into that very clear fail of the daily 20, which is a very major potential trend change on this NASDAQ market. What is causing this weakness? This has been very instrumental in my profits, especially on SMCI. What is starting to cause this weakness on the market? Semiconductors. Semiconductors are starting to get weak. If semiconductors stay weak, the market will need to pull back. The reason that the market is up so much is stocks like Nvidia, stocks like AMD, stocks like SMCI, right? These semiconductors, which had a major move in the first quarter of 2024, has driven this NASDAQ market higher. If you start to see some weakness in these semiconductor stocks, which you have started to see, it will cause more pressure on the market, right? So this is where you need to be paying attention to. If you continue to see this weakness on some of these semis, you will continue to see weakness on this NASDAQ market, all right? Next level below to be watching here today is 18,000 on the NASDAQ futures right here. 18,000 on the NASDAQ futures is your target level for the downside. If you stay under 160, I think you trade to 18,000. 18,000, and then you have the 50 SMA below around that 17,940, okay? So 18,000, definitely a potential hold level today, right? Definitely a potential hold level here at 18,000 on the NASDAQ futures. Look to the left. Previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, right? This could come back down to 18. It could hold 18, right? And this could be somewhere you want to start to exit your short positions, okay? So 18,000, be aware of that. I don't expect the market to drop like a large percent today with FOMC tomorrow. Maybe, right? But if you can catch a little short from 18,160 to 18,000, that's a great short, right, for the day. That's 160 points on the NASDAQ. You don't really need to ask for much more than that. So be careful trying to push it too far lower, right, on a day before FOMC. 18,000, probably a pretty decent level that could hold today, all right, if you are short. So 18,000, and then you have that rising 50 SMA, which could sort of hold this market as well, all right? So 18,160, 18,000, those are two levels I'd be watching today, and just monitor how we react to that daily 20 SMA if you come back up into it. QQQ, we are approaching the gap, okay? This is very important today. 433.71 is a very major gap. I'm going to show you that right now. If I go to this, not options, if I go to equities, turn off the extended hours, you can see right here. This is the QQQ, and we had a gap up back on the 21st of February, okay? And the 21st of February was Nvidia earnings. Nvidia earnings creating a gap up on the QQQ, right? And we have left behind the potential of a gap fill. And that is, I want to say it's under this low, which is 433.71. But you guys need to be paying attention to the price action around this level, right? Because if I go here, I'm going to put back on the after hours. You can see it's not going to just, it's not going to just give up at that level. There's going to be drama. There's going to be dancing, right? There's always going to be dancing at key levels. So you can see the last time we tested this gap fill area was Friday of last week. We had a lot of dancing in this area, right? Look at all this. A lot of dance, a lot of salsa, a lot of movement, right? A lot of volatility as you get under that level or test that level, right? Some fake outs, right? A few times we went below but quickly got back above. So it's going to be difficult, right, to just get that clean drop under that level. You're going to want to see a maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of price action that just gets stuck underneath it. So you can see we're coming back into this level today. This is a big level. 433.70. The gap is underneath it. If we really do fail below this today, there is going to be downside. Okay, there is a gap here to fill on the QQQ back down into around that 426 area. We probably would find support around the 428, which is the daily 50, if we do start to trade in this gap. The gap is signified with this yellow zone. Okay, so watch this low. That is what you're watching today, 433.71. That is a major low. If you fall below this low and really find a rejection below it, you could start to move into this gap fill, which could get pretty aggressive. ES. All right, so the ES is likely going to find some kind of a dance at the daily 20 SMA today, right? The ES is still above it. So that's important to pay attention to. So you don't, it's not all glory to the downside. You still have to be a little bit careful here. You can see the ES is still above the daily 20. So that's very important. Next major demand is below around 51.70. 51.70, major demand lows to be paying attention to. That is last Friday's lows, okay? If I go to the 30-minute chart, you can see that very clearly here. Last Friday's lows. What did last Friday do? It came back down to the daily 20, and it held very strong. So you are coming back down into that daily 20 today, which is right at 51.80. Okay, so I would be very cautious this morning, just blindly shorting at the 20 SMA on the ES. Yes, that is absolutely correct. The ES could bail out the Qs, right? The Qs could hold this gap fill level, right, that we talked about. This could be this could very well happen today. People are trying to get this gap fill level. It starts to dance around here. The ES, right, goes back to that daily 20. It holds, and that could be the end of the downside, right? That could be the end of the downside for the day into FOMC, right? That makes a lot of sense. Little morning downside in the pre-market, starts to hold some levels. Market starts to just sort of chop here for the rest of the day, right? And we have FOMC that comes out tomorrow. That's a very possible reaction of the day, okay? So we're not going to just start blindlessly shorting into this daily 20 today. We're not going to start shorting into that QQQ low. While it does look enticing for that drop, we cannot just start shorting into those lows, especially with this daily 20 here on the ES. Okay, so ES 51.80, ES 51.70, some major demand down here to be careful of. If the market wants to stay balanced before FOMC, then you're likely going to see some hold in this area today, which could sort of affect anyone that's getting too aggressive on the short side. Okay? So 51.80, 51.70 down below on the ES, very key. Be careful down there. And then you can see a very clear supply here at 52.20. So you're either going to look for that bounce and short on the ES at 52.20, or you're going to be cautious of the demand below around this 51.80, 51.70. If we start to break under that 51.80, 51.70, that's where you'll get more downside. Do I expect this to happen today before FOMC? Probably not. Probably not. SPY. Hourly chart on SPY. You guys can see right here. I'm going to assume you are going to trade back down towards this 508.50, towards this 509, daily 20 SMA on the SPY today. All right, that's likely where the SPY could maintain today before FOMC tomorrow. All right here. Very major level. Look how many times this has reacted. 508.50, 508.50, 508.50, 508.50, 508.50, 508.50. That is a Huge level on the SPY here. So if you trade back down into this, you have the daily 20 near it. There's very strong possibility, right, that we hold here and just sort of stay balanced on the day. The key breakdown this morning, which I would be looking for rejections if you want to try to play some rejections today, is 512. 512, 512, 512, 512. If you pop today, look for that 512 rejection. That's a very possible short-term rejection that you could look to play on the SPY today. Okay? Watch 512 supply. Watch that 508.50 demand. Watch that daily 20. It's possible that the SPY sort of gets stuck in this range today between 512 and the daily 20. Between 512, daily 20, 512, daily 20. This could be your day. Okay? This could very well be your day before FOMC. So be aware of that. Russell. Ooh, ouchie. Ouch. I mean, it makes sense, right? If the market's getting weak, there's not going to be much love for small caps, okay? Small caps are not going to be that much of a trustworthy spot on the market if we start to weaken here. So small caps starting to get some pressure here. A pretty ugly trading area here on the Russell, not going to lie. I mean, you're trading back into some pretty ugly sort of choppiness here. 2030, maybe 2020, right in here is where you could hold. Right here around this 2025, 2020 area. See this right here? Right there, right there, right here. You're trading back into that here. Could be an area to hold here today. If you get under that, maybe further downside. But yeah, I mean, Russell's going to stay weak here if the market weakens. That's a really clear, look at this little short-term rejection here on the Russell. That's happening right now. Right here. See this? And then look at this. That's a very nice flip. Previous lows into new highs. What else did it do? I can't make that up. I cannot make this up right here. I don't think it gets much prettier than this. I mean, look at this. Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? I mean, that's just sexy. Perfect rejection of the daily 20. Under that, you stay weak. Dow Jones, Daniel Jones, Mike Jones, Chris Jones, Indiana Jones. Oh, man. I crack myself up sometimes. 38,900, still the level. The Dow's pretty sideways. I have no interest here. But this looks to be your zone on the Dow. Right in there. All right. Look to see what happens between that zone. Right now, I wouldn't touch anything. Daily 20 SMA rejection. And 38,900 is your demand. All right. All right. That's all I got for the futures for now. We'll relook at them towards the end of the stream. We got 1,900 people here. We got 600 likes. Ouch. Tom Jones, John Bones Jones. Press the like button. Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Wesley Jones. All right. Yeah, JPJ. John Paul Jones. Mac Jones. There's a lot of Jones, man. All right. Let's get into some stocks. Tesla. I mean, that looks pretty damn good to me. That looks pretty damn good to me. Previous lows. Previous lows. Previous lows. Previous rejection. Downside move. Double bottom low. Back into 175. I'm not going to say much more. I hope you guys see what I'm looking at. You should by now. If you watch this live stream, you know exactly what I'm going to say. If I do inverse Tesla, what does this look like on the inverse of Tesla? If we're looking for longs here, right? We like this for longs, don't we? So why not like it for shorts? So If we see Tesla move back towards that 175 today, if we start to reject up here, I'm absolutely looking for that rejection play today. That could be very nice. That could be very nice. 175, break and retest. Maybe some support around 170, maybe, right? You got to, of course, watch this. Sort of monitor the 170 zone today. Be aware of that if you are short. Underneath that, you probably get more towards like this 165, right? Probably down into this little gap fill area, 165, 165.20, right in there, right? But I would just be a little bit aware of this 170. If you get under that, you probably trade back towards this 165. But man, is this a beautiful entry point at 175. That could be very nice. If you can get a pop on Tesla back into that level, watch it. All right. Nvidia, this is going to cause weakness on the market, guys. Nvidia is turning this 890 level into a rejection. We've been screaming and hollering about this 890 level, and you can see that yesterday, again, we had a inability to get above and hold above 890 on Nvidia. That is going to cause weakness on the market. 890, ever since, and I'm going to make a video about my SMCI puts, but a large reason as to why I entered those puts is because I started to see cracks in the semiconductor market. And where I saw those cracks, and if you guys watch this live stream, we talked about this on the live stream, live, for everyone to listen. We talked about, after this drop, if you guys were here, we talked about, is this a failed move higher on Nvidia to make a lower high, or is this just another long opportunity? And I was a little bit more in the boat of this becoming a lower high and a failure to move higher on Nvidia. And this is very important because Nvidia has failed to make a new high. It's been making lower highs, right? It's been having struggle of holding higher. And if this sort of short-term trend continues, we could see some more weakness on semiconductors. And right now, look at the perfect rejections. Even yesterday, we tried to hold above this area on Nvidia. We failed very quickly back under it. Could not get above it all day yesterday. And we had a failure under 890 again. 890, previous rejections here, multiple rejections at this 890. If you stay under 890, Nvidia stays weak. Where do I think Nvidia needs to come back down to? At the very minimum, Nvidia, in my eyes, needs to retrace to the daily 20 SMA. At the very minimum. I believe that we need to come back down to test this daily 20, which is down at 830 on Nvidia. That's where I think you could come back down to. It's possible you hold the 850, right? You have the 850 here. It's possible you have a little bit of support at that 850 today, which could sort of hold this higher and just sort of maintain this channel. If you break under 850, you are going to move to the daily 20. And I think the daily 20 is likely where you want to come down to, right? I think I would not look to long Nvidia until I get a test of that 20 SMA. That would be a potentially very nice spot to look for a little short-term long entry off that daily 20. If you break under that daily 20, more downside to come. But we have 850, we have 830, daily 20 SMA, and I would not long Nvidia if it's under 890. Okay? AMD. Yeah, I would look for, this was a very nice rejection on AMD. Previous lows, new highs, popped into it again, failed. Really nice 196 area, making lower highs, right? This is a very key structural change on AMD. Look at this, right? You have turned lows into highs. That is very key structural change here on AMD, and it is breaking a very major level right now at 184. You guys can see right here on the 4-hour chart, we have these previous highs at 184, previous highs at 184. If we turn 184 into rejection today on AMD, this could be a fantastic short-term trade. This is exactly what I would be looking for today. Look to see if we can bounce and reject 184. If you guys see this step up today, look for the short entry, okay? AMD under 184 is a fantastic spot to look for shorts. Look to see if you stay under 184. If you do, I like that short into the 50 SMA, which is down at 176. That is what I would be looking for today. This is probably my top intraday trading watch. Rejections of this previous double top high, rejections under this double bottom low. If you turn 184 into a clear supply today, look for that downside move. Okay? SMCI. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm up a lot, guys. This is going to be, I think, about as of right now, it's a $62,000 day on SMCI. My account is back to 100,000, and it was at 30,000 last week. So overall, I'm up about $70,000 this week on SMCI puts. I mean, just I don't know what to say, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm really hitting my groove this year, and I couldn't be more happy about it. You know, it's just been a long road to this point, and I feel comfortable with this position sizing, which is really the best thing for me, right? I feel comfortable. If you guys were in my Discord yesterday, we did a little bit of a Zoom, right? Remember, you guys should remember that Zoom we did late day. And I was very confident to hold, right? I was not typically, like 2 years ago, I'd be panicking out. I'd be getting out, right? I'd be taking profits. I'd be sort of shaky to hold. Yesterday, I was zen. And I was zen even with the, $30,000, $40,000 I had in the trade. And, that is just, and it doesn't have to be at this size, right? It doesn't have to be at this size. It could be at any position size that you're talking about, but it's that zen, it's that being comfortable in the trade, which is going to help you make more money, okay? It's finding the comfort level, the zone, that comfort zone, that is key. Trading outside of that zone is going to cause problems, whether that's $1,000 for you, whether that's 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be at this level. You have to be realistic, okay? I share this because I'm trying to share with you where you can get in trading. Do not try to do what I'm doing if you are not at this level yet. JHOS, 50% of the portfolio, I've pulled out $190,000 in profits out of this market this year. I am putting positions. It was a $27,000 position size. I withdraw money out of this account. So yeah, it's a large percent of the portfolio value, but it is very in line with the margin that I have on my trading account of the year. I pull it out so I don't take $200,000 positions. That is why I pull this money out. So yes, it's a large percent of the portfolio. You can see it right in front of your eyes. But I sort of do the rake trade method. If you guys know who rake trade is, he pulls money out of his account, but he understands how much is actually in the account or how much he's up on the year, right? And he takes those position sizes. So yeah, a crazy trade, and I'll definitely do a recap video on this. But why did I take the trade? It was the break under 1080. It was all about the break under 1080. That was the key. That's why I went short. That's why I got aggressive. This break on Monday, yesterday, was crucial to my confidence of entering shorts on this market, on this SMCI. Right here, this very clear previous high on SMCI at 1080. If I go to the 5-minute chart and I go into Monday's action, yesterday's action, look at this. Look at this right here. 1080. Perfect failure to get back above that level. And when I saw that, I was in. That was it. I said, okay, we're failing back under that 1080. I'm taking this shot, right? I really like this downside potential. I know semiconductors are weak or have been weakening. I know SMCI is under 1080. And I know that the weekly chart looks like this on SMCI, right? In the back of my mind, I know that this is going to have to pull back after looking at this weekly chart. So that's what I'm in right now. Yesterday, what did we do yesterday, which kept me very confident in this downside move? We rejected the daily 20 SMA. Again, clean as a whistle in terms of levels, right? Right here, previous highs, lows. Look at this rejection yesterday. Right under the daily 20, right? Previous highs, previous lows. Look at that rejection that came in yesterday perfectly under the $1,000 level and under the daily 20 SMA. After I saw that, that's again another reason to stay confident in the trade, right? Staying confident in the trade because the levels are telling me to stay in. I'm not getting out. I'm not doing things because of the position size. That's not how you should manage a trade. I'm managing the trade based off what the market is showing me. What are the levels that are occurring on the market? So I said, okay, we're back under the daily 20. We're back under these highs and these lows. We're turning that level into rejection. I'm staying in this trade, right? There's no reason to exit. We have a gap to fill here down to 900, and that is exactly what we did. So today, 900's big. I would not be, looking at my trade and saying, holy shit, I'm in puts with Desi because he's in puts. You could very well bounce off 900 today. I would be very careful here. This is very much a potential area of support. So I'm definitely going to be locking in some profits here at this 900 level. If you break under 900, you probably come to 800. That's probably your next spot. All right, so 900, 800, and 1,000. It's really 100-point ranges on SMCI, which is just absolutely crazy. But that's just what it is. All right, let's go to Microsoft, because I think this is sort of interesting in Microsoft. This very major fail to move back higher. Very major failed breakout. This is sort of a liquidity grab type move here on Microsoft. You go up for, half the day and you fail right back underneath. This is sort of concerning on Microsoft. This would be a reason to look for more downside, in my opinion. If Microsoft fails to get back over this 420, fails to hold above this 416 today, I think this is a reason to look for further downside on Microsoft. This pop and fail is pretty clear. So that is real. I think that's weak for Microsoft. The fact that it did that, it couldn't hold any of these levels. I would watch to see if Microsoft can stay under 416 today. If it can, you probably trade back down towards this 20 SMA, which is maybe where your next support comes in. But I would just sort of say, hey, Microsoft, I'm going to try to get shorts close to maybe this 421 level and see if it can stay under this previous all-time high. And I like the fact that it failed to hold above that on the breakout. Something to watch there. Coinbase. A really clear change in structure here on Coinbase, guys. And this was something I was posting to the group yesterday. If you're part of the group, you know that. We were talking about this yesterday. What has Coinbase been doing? It's been structuring higher. Structuring higher. What does this look like to you? This looks like the first structure lower, right? See how this stock is traded in these boxes, in these structure points? 1, 2, 3, right? 4. Did not make a 5, right? We didn't get it above. We failed to go any higher, and we are now under this low, right? So this is now a break and retest rejection potential, right? So if Coinbase stays under 245, if Coinbase stays under your 245, then I would be looking for further downside. The only problem here is this next structural level, which is 213. Right, 213 could have a little bit of support. I'd be a little bit cautious shorting into that 213. Right, you could hold this daily 20. You could sort of dance here for a little bit. If Bitcoin has a little bit of a pop, if it has a little bit of a pop, right, then 213 is a very potential hold level. All right, so 213, 20 SMA. Watch that down below if you are short. But this looks like a really clear structural shift on Coinbase. Kwame, why don't you work for free, man? Go to work. Tell your employer you want to work for free today. All right, that's what you're gonna do. Go to work. Go to your employer. Tell them, hey, man, I'm gonna work for free for the rest of my life. If you do that, I'll stop charging for the Discord. How about that? Deal. All right, let's continue. Coinbase. So watch that 245 rejection. All right, let's continue. Apple. This is also an interesting failed breakout on Apple as well. Okay, watch this right here. So Apple tried to get above this supply level, and it failed to hold higher. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, you got above that supply. You got above it, you squeezed, right? But you failed back under it. It's a little concerning, right? A little concerning there. If we stay under that 174.50, then maybe there's more downside, right? Maybe there's more downside. 174.50, 174.50, 174.50, 174.50. Be careful if we stay under that. If we stay under this, Apple could stay weak. If we get back above it and we hold above it, then we could see some continuation to the upside. So watch 174.50 on Apple today. Very key level. All right? Very, very key level there on Apple. Hey, man, it's all good. All right? It's all good. Just how it is, man. That's what it is. I do this for free every morning. Every single morning, 100% free for you guys, 1 hour every single morning. And the other thing that people don't realize if they've never been part of a community of traders, if the community is free, it becomes an absolute shit show. Okay? This is what people do not understand. A free community, if you join a free community, you will be flooded with politics, racism, constant egotistical idiots. This is how the internet is. And if you want to join a community like that, be my guest. My community is not that, okay? I charge for it. People that are serious are part of it. I moderate it like no other. You guys know that if you're part of the group. I'm watching that thing like a hawk all day. One person does something stupid, they're out, okay? You want to join that community where there's constant bullshit floating around? Be my guest. Not going to be part of me. Not going to associate myself with that kind of stuff. All right. Let's continue. Let's go to Netflix, because Netflix actually squeezed me out of a position yesterday. I lost about $3,000 on Netflix yesterday, and it totally squeezed me out, which is just sort of, it sort of sucked. I'm not going to lie. Like, look at this Netflix squeeze yesterday, and it just sort of got me. So, yeah, it is what it is. I lost $3,500 there yesterday, so there you go, right? It's not all great. Right? There's going to be losses all over the place, and I lost yesterday trying to short Netflix. Squeezed the hell out of me yesterday. Lost $3,500 on this thing. But what do I see here that sort of keeps me interested? It's another failure to move higher, right? Look at all these fails up here at 625, right? 625, 625, 625. All these fails to really get a move higher. So still interesting here on Netflix, but it definitely seems to be a little bit stronger than others. I would say Netflix is still sort of outperforming. This sector is not really getting very affected like the semiconductors, but something to watch. You know, I'm not ready to really say much about Netflix. I really don't have much of a good read here. I thought it would stay weak under this 608 area. I thought it would stay weak under that, but it did not. It sort of ripped right back above it. It looks like it's this 608 demand, and then, of course, it's this 602, 602.20 SMA, right here, 602.20 SMA. So 608, 602, two important demands down below. I'd be looking to see if you can break those. It's possible that there is a long here on Netflix somewhere, but I don't like longing into this failure here. I do not like how Netflix has failed now 3 times to get a legitimate move over this 625 level. So this is why I was interested in downside on Netflix, but I got squeezed out of my position. I'll keep an eye on it, but watch 608, watch 602 here. Yellow giraffes. Notice you're going to continue to go, hey, man, trust me, man. Guys, trust me, okay? At the end of the day, I am very pleased with what I do. I have thousands of people that reach out to me that keep me happy, put a smile on my face, tell me that what I'm doing is helping them, which is awesome. I do not go to sleep at night caring about what someone says about me. That's the last thing that's on my mind, okay? It's the people that appreciate it. It's like you guys that come here every day that appreciate the help, that my family, my friends, all right? That's what's important to me. Do I give a second to the people online that say things? Absolutely not. That is the last thing that's on my mind when I lay my head down at night. All right. So we went over Netflix. We went over Coin, Microsoft. We didn't go over Amazon. Let's go over Amazon. Here's the 4 hour on Amazon. Again, a failed attempt to hold over 176 again, right? We got to move above that one. Remember, we were talking about that 176 last week. We got above it, but we really failed under that level yesterday. Look at this 176 level, right? Yesterday, it was like 176, 176.50, right? It wasn't exactly 176. It's like right here, 176.60, right there. Look at how clean that was. Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right there. Look at how beautiful that rejection is right there on Amazon. Beautiful previous lows into rejections at 176.50. Now, you're also under the daily 20 SMA. This looks weak in my eyes, but you need to be careful of 171, okay? 171 definitely is a potential demand, okay? So today, what I would look for is a rejection of the daily 20 or a rejection of the 20 or of the supply above at 176.50. Look to see if you can stay under the daily 20. Look to see if you can stay under the 176.50, okay? Under here, under here. These are two very important levels to see if they fail. Yeah, Matt, I that's what I'm feeling, Matt, right? I could be a little bit early to that opinion, but that's what I'm starting to see, right? And I'm not going to, it's what's on the charts, right? So we got to sort of run with it. You're seeing a lot of fails to move higher, and that's, Matt, that's sort of my opinion as well. I'm seeing a lot of stocks that attempted to make new highs that either got above for a very short period and failed back below or couldn't quite break out above that high. And that's like right here on Amazon, right? Amazon tried to go for that new high, failed miserably, right? Apple tried to get above that supply, failed miserably back under. Microsoft, big breakout. Look how quickly this thing got sold into. So a lot of failures to move higher, which is just a little bit concerning to me to be trying to long back into some of those fails that we've seen. So 176.50, very clear supply in Amazon. The demand below is at 171. If you get under 171, that's where I think you can move lower towards 167. Google. Yeah, Google's actually holding pretty well here. Not a bad little hold here on Google at this 147 area. Actually a pretty decent hold. And Google's been sort of that hot spot for tech lately, right? The last few weeks, Google's been sort of on that comeback move. So, yeah, not a terrible hold there on Google. Would I be longing Google, though, with some of this weakness on the market? It's maybe, right? Maybe you can try that, right? If you say, hey, I think the ES is going to hold the daily 20 today, right? I think the Qs are going to hold this demand low. If that's sort of your setup of the day, if you're like, hey, I think the Qs are going to bounce off this demand low here, and you're looking for a long, then, hey, this Google's probably the right spot to be looking at, right? You can see this previous high here is holding pretty well, right? Right here. See this? See this high? Right there? You can see it's holding perfectly today. So this 146.70, 147 area, nice little break and retest, and it is holding very well. So if you like the longs, then that is the one I'd watch, but I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm that ready to be longing with the NASDAQ where it is. But that is the one I'd sort of eye. Just be careful up at this 150 area, right? Look at this high right here, 150, 150, 151. Just be a little bit cautious in there if you do long Google today. Also realize that Google left behind a really big gap, okay? Make sure you realize that as well. I would rather, personally, be long on a gap fill. I'd rather be long back here. Right in here. This is where I'd rather be long. After Google fills that gap up. For me personally. Let's go to, we can go to Boeing, but this thing just looks like it's going to bleed out. I really don't have a great, if you guys remember, if you were on the live stream, we never got to talk about this one because I wasn't a live stream, or I didn't live stream yesterday, sorry. We never got to talk about this one. Remember we talked about every dollar turning into a rejection spot on Boeing? It did it again on Friday. Which we never got to talk about, but I was shocked when I saw that. Remember we talked about 187, 186, 185? We talked about on Friday of last week, 184, and holy shit. Could that not have worked any better? I I mean, damn. So 187, 186, 185. And on Friday's live stream, we said, hey, watch 184. Why not? I don't really have a level there, but maybe it continues to do the same thing it's been doing. And wow, did it do it again. So what do we watch today? I don't know. Let's put a line at 183, 182. Excuse me. Let's keep an eye on some of these levels, but I mean, I'm a little bit concerned fading Boeing. It's going to have one of these days where it just sort of pops, but I would look for the pop and fade, right? Pop and fade, 183, 182. Keep an eye on those. All right. All right, let's go over the futures one last time before we head out. We can see the market is sort of maintaining here in the short term. I'm expecting the ES to find support today at the 20 SMA, guys. I would not be getting too horned up to the downside into this zone on the ES, okay? Be very careful. There's been some nice downside on some semis this morning, on some markets, right, on some stuff, but a little bit cautious here, okay? If I had to guess what today looks like, and if I had to try to predict the future, I would say the market teases more downside early morning into the daily 20. It starts to dance, right? It starts to wick people out here, and then you hit like that 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock time frame, and the market just starts to stay sideways, right? And then you just start to get the snooze fest into FOMC. So be careful getting too horned up into this daily 20. It's a very possible hold level today on the ES. Also, this 5170 on the ES as well. These are definitely demands that could hold, okay? So be careful down here into 5180, 5170. Definitely demands that could hold. Be careful entering new shorts down at these demands. If you want to look to short today, I think what you'd want to see is a hold below 5220 for a short entry there, right? A short entry under that 5220, okay? On a rejection of it. QQQ, I would be very careful shorting into this 433.70. There could very well be some reactions down here, some holds, right? Some dances, some wicks, right? Just be careful down in this 433.70 area. If you are short, I think the best short of the day is either a 20 SMA rejection or a very clear hold below this level. Do not start shorting right above this zone right here. Could very well be sort of that move higher, sort of relief bounce intraday. All right, guys, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed today. I hope you find some trades that you like. Be safe out there. Remember, FOMC is tomorrow. Today's probably not your best trading day of the week. So let's maybe keep it light. See what tomorrow brings. FOMC. Once that FOMC is out of the way, we look to target some stuff into the end of week. I think that's probably the best bet. If you guys could, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys. Actually, hold on. Hold on, brother. If you're still here, brother. If you want to, I have a few sweatshirts left. And in honor of SMCI, if you want to live stream, or if you want to get a sweatshirt, go ahead and check them out. Use code. I'm going to go ahead and do it right on the screen for you guys. Right here. If you want a sweatshirt, use code LS50. Right here. LS50. 50% off in honor of SMCI. If you want a sweatshirt, use code LS50. LS50. And I'm going to pin the link to the top of the stream. All right. That's all I got. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.